Okay, so mine isn't very technical, don't worry. I know it sort of sounds a bit boring and technical, but it's actually really easy and it's kind of fun, sort of. Well, as Craig said, I'm Xandie Trevor, 21. I go to Newcastle University, and there I study marketing, and I'm in my second year. Basically, at Newcastle, social media is a brand new module. It's only been running, 7 months, and I started on it. And the way it's assessed is we run a campaign, and I had Craig as my gatekeeper for the campaign, and a group of 5 of us basically had to. We were all given different things. So it could have been a disease, it could have been an addiction, and I was given awareness in bone cancer for teenagers and young adults. So basically, we had to research it and then come up with a decent plan and pitch it to Craig. And obviously, he enjoyed the pitch so much, dragged me along here. What I need to do, I want to show you the findings, but also I need to just give you a basic understanding of what social media is. And before we can understand social media, we have to have a brief understanding of what the internet is. Basically, the internet is a global system of interconnected computer networks, which serve billions of users worldwide. Basically, the internet's a network of networks, and it consists of millions of private, public, academic, business, and government networks. So to sort of simplify it, you've just got to imagine it as a giant spider's web going all the way around the globe, and anyone can link into it anywhere. Now you can go from satellites, so literally anywhere on the planet you can get the internet. But our spider's web has moved on from the days of being just a dial-up, which was very slow. It's now very fast, dynamic, ever-changing and developing. And now with the use of wireless, high-speed broadband and smartphones, it's incredibly easy to access. And in most cases, it's in our pocket wherever we go. I'm betting half the people in this room have got a smartphone, probably more. Does everyone know what a smartphone is? It's basically does everything kind of thing. It's your own little world in your pocket. In the UK, there are more than 32 million smartphones, which means over half the UK population has one. And carrying on from this point of connectivity, this hotel boasts internet connection in every single room and wireless in every single communal room. So the internet is now the norm. It's absolutely everywhere. And just to reiterate that, in 2011, 62 million people in the UK, of the 62 million people in the UK, 51 million of them claim to be internet users. This means that 82% of the UK uses the internet, which is huge when you compare it to the relatively tiny figure of the 12 million that read the newspaper every day. So with an understanding of the internet, we can move on to social media. Social media it's a group of internet-based applications which allow creativity and the exchange of data in a much more social environment than that of an actual website. In short, it's a personal way of communicating, storing information, finding things out, and it can be built up by individuals, not just professionals. Like anyone in this room can build onto social networks. So, going back to our spider's web, a large part of the internet is social media. As you can see by the diagram up here, 14 minutes in every hour is spent on social media. The only thing that comes close is entertainment. So it's taking up 15 minutes of every hour that's spent on the internet. And then, so to break it up, there are 6 key points of social media. And I'll rattle through them really quickly. So there's collaborative projects such as Wikipedia, and this is where you can take your research and compile it with other people's research, people compare it, and things like that. It's more of an academic thing. Then we've got blogs. Everyone's heard of Twitter, I imagine, and Blogger. This is more one-way communication. You put something out, everyone can read it. And it's short messages, and I mean, we're seeing more and more celebrities use it, businesses use it, but also millions and millions of people use it as a personal thing. And then content communities. These are things like YouTube and Yahoo videos. So it's a community based around a sort of more tangible thing like a video. So if we put a BCRT video up, you can base a community around that, you can comment on it, that kind of thing. And then you've got the sort of stranger ones like virtual gaming worlds. I don't have much experience in these ones, but I know that there are 11 million users on World of Warcraft, and they can all communicate online. And then you've got virtual social worlds, another slightly stranger one, but this is where you have an avatar, in effect, and you can communicate online with that, and they're massive, massive online communities. And then finally, the big one, social networks. Normally when I say social media, everyone thinks Facebook almost instantly. Facebook is massive, but there are other smaller ones. LinkedIn is pretty big at the moment, but Facebook has an absolute dominance. So through these 6 areas, we could put messages across the UK population, and especially internet users. Each of these 6 areas presents a different way of communicating messages. Although there are 6, 3 of them are used more readily than the other 3. You can probably guess. That's social networks, blogs, and content communities. And they're represented by the 3 biggest names on the internet: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sites. I mean, it would take me days just to name them all. These 3 sites are at the socialist centimetre, so I want to just briefly explain a little bit about each. YouTube. YouTube's really, really simple. Anyone can get an account as a business, an organisation, a charity, or a private account. And all you do is you can upload a video. Once you've uploaded a video, you can comment on it, other people can comment on it. And even if you don't have an account, you can log on and watch any other video. So it's more a base for videos. And I thought a perfect kind of base for a promotional video for BCRT. For example, when I was searching around on the internet, I typed BCRT into YouTube, and I found a video on BCRT, Craig giving a very motivational performance. Yeah, but basically the beauty of YouTube and then linking it with other social media devices is that link there. If I click on it now, I won't. But we go straight to the video of Craig and be able to see it. So I can put that on pretty much anything I could put text on. So I could send it in an email, I could put it on my Facebook account, I could put it in a tweet on Twitter. It's limitless. You can pretty much put a link like that, a hyperlink like that, anywhere on the internet, and people can be directly linked to, well, the other end, and in this case it's Craig. Twitter, as I said, mainly one-way communication. It's the newest of the 3 that I've just talked about, and it's also the fastest growing. It's a blog, so it's one-way communication. And starting from the beginning, an individual organization creates an account. This can be personalized with a profile picture and personal information about the person or organization. So you could have contact details for BCRT, or if it was my personal one, I could have my mobile number, short descriptions, and my hobbies, that kind of thing. But there are some impressive things about Twitter, and this kind of leads me on to tweeting. So tweeting is a message. I know some of the names are ridiculous, but tweeting is absolutely massive now. And you get a certain amount of characters. It's not very long, and you've got to squeeze in a message. So these range from advertisement to what's going on in your day, or you could do symptoms of bone cancer, for example. One successful tweet from a person like Stephen Fry, who has just the most ridiculous amount of followers. He's got 4.4 million people who are linked to his profile and read what he has to say. So if BCRT could get retweeted, which basically means Stephen Fry copy what they've said and send it out to millions of people, it could create an absolute hailstorm of activity around it. And then Facebook, which is the big one. Facebook is the largest social network. It's one of the largest websites, and it's now publicly anyone can buy a chunk. I wouldn't advise at the moment. The shares are dropping rapidly. but it has a whopping 55% market share. And just to show you how big Facebook is, I've tried to get some statistics on it. Don't try and read those, they're tiny, so I'll read them out to you. Facebook has more users than any other social network in the world. 74% of its users are 13 to 24 years old. And I need to just talk about that 13 to 24. Facebook, to legally sign up for Facebook, you have to be 13. So lots and lots of children sign up for it and say they're 13. So you'll get someone who's my age is about 40 on Facebook. But so that represents a much younger, it'll represent all the way down to the 10, 11. My 10-year-old cousin has Facebook. Facebook has over 500 million users, which roughly works out as 1 in 13 people on the planet have Facebook. Over 250 million of these log on every day. 48% of the 18 to 34 bracket check their Facebook before they get out of bed. I don't really know how they work that statistic out. Over 700 billion minutes a month are spent on Facebook. 200 million people access Facebook via their mobile phones, so going back to the smartphones. And in just 24 hours on Facebook, over 72 million links are shared, 144 million friend requests are accepted, and almost 216 million messages are sent. So Facebook's a tool not to be ignored, and it's for this reason that it's at the heart of social media. Other social networks must be considered, like LinkedIn, My Blog, Doctors Hangout, but their reach is tiny in comparison to the dominance of Facebook, which, as I've said, has the 55% market share and rising. There are two ways of using Facebook. The way that most of us in this room would use it is a personal profile. So that has all the details and information about yourself, or as much as you want to give. And lots of people give far too much, and you hear lots of stories about people getting in trouble. But it's got hundreds and hundreds. There are, as I've said, millions of accounts. So, for example, if you look for me on Facebook, you can find where I live. You can probably find where I am at the moment. And you can find out my age, you can find out my relationship status, photos of me, and now with Timeline, you can go all the way back to about 2009 and find out what I was doing on specific dates. Not that I'm sure any of you are interested in that. But next you then generate this network of friends. So the average friend count for a person in the UK is about 140. But some people have thousands, some people have 20. And this network you're then connected with. Every time I do something on Facebook, all of my friends can see what I've been up to. They see it as a notification, and sometimes it'll ping straight to their smartphone. And a key point is that people can like pages, which I'm going to talk about next, which is the other part of Facebook. So a page is a more commercial side of Facebook. It's where a business would base itself. So using BCRT as an example, we could set up a Facebook page, which would have tons and tons of information. It could have phone numbers, it could have email addresses for people to contact. It could have stories on, we could put long statuses up, short statuses, and documents on there full of information. And then the key point about the new Facebook setup is that an individual profile can send a message to a page, which means if you've got a question to ask and you have no idea who to ask, you can ask BCRT on Facebook, and then BCRT with a panel of people to help answer. So professionals can reply and help you out. Okay, I'll just rattle through. That was pages. Apologies. So just to summarise, so with the use of these three sites, you can use social media to its full potential. It's got a far broader reach than any other marketing tool because it's so easily accessed and already has such a huge following. It also has the advantage of being low cost if correctly used. Social media doesn't sleep, it doesn't stop at Christmas, and it never sits still. It's changing all the time. Every time someone adds a video to YouTube, retweets a tweet, or changes their Facebook status, social media grows. So can you imagine the audience that could be reached through social media and how many more people could become aware of bone cancer and would know where to turn to and where to put their questions? It's a tool for awareness, but once awareness is there, it can be used to answer the questions. For a person who I've only really known about bone cancer for 7 months since starting the project with Craig, and I can testify it's hard to find the information, and we looked at it from an awareness point of view. So I think that with the help of social media, you can really send out a massive message and literally spoon feed people information before they've even asked the questions. Thank you for your time, and that was the team, but unfortunately 4 of them Skyped off. But if anyone has any questions,